Hey, how's it going? Here, Edgar with OmniPrint International. What I'm going to be sharing is some tips and tricks, 10 ways to scale your business in the embroidery. For those of you guys that are not familiar with me, I'm actually one of the growth coaches here at OmniPrint International. I help take businesses from currently working full-time somewhere and they want to, eventually get to the point where they can fire their boss and start their own business, all the way up to somebody that already has, several employees that they want to scale up. So I'm one of the growth coaches here. And I wanted to go over 10 ways that you can scale your business. These aren't in any particular order. These are just kind of based on the people that I've talked to and that I've helped out and feedback that they've had. Number one, expand your online presence. When I got started 12 years ago, that being online was, it was kind of more like an optional thing. But now you definitely want to make sure that, you're online, because even if you're looking into getting some equipment, you can already, with a website, position yourself where you can already start offering the products, the services. You can have somebody like ourselves, we also do fulfillment for our customers. We can help you do fulfillment, but by having that online presence, like I said, even if you're just starting off, you can position yourself to look like the bigger companies, having a nice clean website where your customers can go on there, watch some videos. And it's gonna allow you, some of you guys that are into graphic design or your designers, online is gonna allow you to showcase your graphics, your designs that you have. And it's gonna, let you gauge, that business. And some of you, I've talked to a lot of companies where they're already larger, they have a lot of employees, and their online presence is not the best, or if non-existent. So definitely you want to grow your online presence, especially now going into 2024. Everything is online. Everybody wants everything next day. Me personally, myself, I like to go online. I like to shop around. I like to order in the middle of the night, designs, orders, apparel, things like that. Number two, introduce collaboration services. You want to offer personalized items to businesses. You don't want to just try to focus on casting a wider net. What you want to do is you want to develop your niche. What's going to be your niche? And a lot of the customers that I work with, one of their biggest things is customization. So it allows you to grow with your community, grow with the local businesses in your area. Because I do see a lot of stuff where you can see the embroidery logo on there. But even ourselves, as well, it would be nice to have our own names on here. So it'd be more customization that you can offer to these businesses. Like, not only can I, embroider your logo, I can help, for your staff, 6 to 12 pieces for each one of your staff members with their name on it, get you guys hooked up with a hat. Number three, collaborate with local businesses or organizations. Something that I've done in the past personally when it comes to collaborating, I used to work with different apparel companies that they would sell, like a retail apparel shop. They would have pop-up events and so forth, and I would collaborate with them, provide some of my printing on-demand services if they needed some embroidery stuff. So just, reach out to people in your community. I always like to think about, don't think of, your competition, more look at it as like, how can I turn my competition into partnerships, collaborate with these guys? Because, like I said, if you have one of our embroidery machines and you want to expand into, let's say, direct to film, which is, the biggest trend right now, then you can collaborate with your embroidery machine, link up with one of our, customers that do direct to film, and you guys can collaborate together, cross promote each other's services. Or you can offer, when I was doing my print on demand business, I started off by doing direct to garment, but then I also collaborated and, promoted screen printing, which then allowed me to bring it in-house. I did the same thing for embroidery. So collaborating is definitely, one of the biggies now, and it's a good way to scale up. Number four, participate in industry events, which kind of goes hand in hand, with collaboration. When I was, one of the things that I used to do when I was, running my own fulfillment places, I used to do a lot of fulfillment for nonprofits, like nationwide. I would do all their merchandise, and I would attend a lot of events. And it all started by me attending one of the events, going to these events, and I saw a lot of people wearing a lot of shirts. And I kind of, asked around, hey, who's the one that's responsible for ordering the shirts? linked up to that person and said, hey, I know I missed it for this year, but what can we do to work together for your next year's events? And tying back to what I just covered right now, the personalization, because you can see that most of the event gear out there right now is literally like 1 or 2 colors. And then how can you improve on those graphics to be able to get those types of contracts for the following year. Because a lot of the things that I would do is that I would showcase the different graphics, the different things that we would be able to do for those specific customers. Because from my experience, if somebody's already at an event and they might have the same vendor that they've had for the past several years, you need to show them something that's gonna be like, oh man, that's really cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check you guys out for the next time. And then even embroidery, you can do embroidery on the spot. These machines are pretty small, they're pretty versatile. A lot of our customers, they do on the spot embroidery. You've seen shops like Lids where you can literally go to a retail location. One of the things that I used to do back in the day when I was doing direct to garment, I actually used to take our free jet, which is our smaller unit. I used to take it to swap meets. It scaled up. I got to the point where I did print on demand at a SpaceX event. Elon Musk was there. It was really cool. We were doing a lot of space related t-shirts. So you can do something like that, link up to different events. Number 5 that I have on here, invest in advanced technology. That's super important, when it comes to, if you're already in the business, you want to make sure that you have a piece of equipment that's yielding the highest quality out there. Because especially with embroidery is very popular. It's very, it's everywhere. You have businesses are embroidered, hats are embroidered, but the main thing is you can notice the difference between good quality and poor quality. So if you want to get those good contracts, you want to set yourself apart, by getting good equipment that can get, do fine detail. I got, some different hats that we've done here. Something like this, has fine, you probably can't see it, but being able to do fine detail, super clean. Not any piece of equipment is going to be able to do that. It's specifically for embroidery. With digital, like if you're doing, direct to film, same thing, having that high quality piece of equipment. Because, let's say when you're doing digital printing, you can hide it a little bit more than you can with embroidery. But when you're dealing with embroidery, you're looking at thread. So you're going to be able to see the quality. Like for ours as an example, we have OmniPrint International, which is the international is pretty small in the bottom. So it's like if somebody does the job for you, or if you're doing the job for someone else, how clear and crisp does that look? Because in business, especially as a decorator, the rule is true that you only get one opportunity to make a good impression. So if you go through the effort of landing your first account, and you don't have the best equipment and you deliver not the best product and the quality, your customers are going to notice, especially if they've ordered before. It's not like they're ordering something brand new that doesn't exist. You're talking about embroidery. It's been around, I don't even know how long it's been around, a lot longer than I've been alive. But you definitely want to make sure that the equipment that you have has the best quality. And I like to pride myself in the equipment that we use, that we manufacture, because it does provide the highest quality. And for those of you that are not aware, my background is also in fulfillment. So here at OmniPrint, besides helping out with business success and helping our businesses scale up, I also help with the fulfillment side of it. So I know firsthand that in order for us to help our customers, we want to make sure that the equipment that we have, is it's a leader in the industry as far as quality goes. That ties down just to something as simple as a heat press. If you're just looking at it and you're like, embroidery looks good, I want to outsource my embroidery before I get a piece of a machine, but I want to start off with a heat press, then I would recommend the heat presses that we sell, stalls, the Hotronics. Because even if it's something as simple as right now the biggest trend out there is heat applying different transfers, or you can even do heat apply embroidery patches and so forth. but you want to make sure that you have the best quality heat press out there for the job. Don't cheap out. Don't spend $200-300 on a heat press that's made in China that's gonna give out. Number 6, develop an online store. This ties into have an online presence, an online stores where your customers can go on there and they can order exactly what they want 24/7. For me, that was a big game changer because I was used to having to physically, take orders via email. Somebody would call me, what do you need? Email me your file. So for me, for my business personally, it was a game changer when I, built my online store. And that's what it used to be called back in the day, build. You had to physically build an online store. Now there's so many systems out there, like, one of the platforms that we use for our software, it's called Work. And I'm also involved in the software development as well, building out that specific platform to make it a lot easier. So I literally, with the help of our team is, from the stuff that we've done in the past, the stuff that's out there, what tools can we put together to, position our customers for success when it comes to, building their online stores. So we did it where it's super easy to do. If you're gonna be, building an online store, you wanna make sure that one, don't get caught up on spending, $5,000-10,000. That's a thing of the past. There's a lot more cost-effective ways, to build your website. Make sure it's super easy, but most important that it looks nice and clean and it's easy for your customers to order online. You don't want to have it where it's like you have the best looking website, but when it comes to placing an actual order, it's just, not the easiest. You want to make it super streamlined, super easy. Number 7, offer workshops and classes. That's actually something that us personally we've done in the past and we currently do, and we're gonna do, moving into 2024, is having different workshops. If you're getting started in embroidery, I would recommend you look up like embroidery workshops in your area. Those are good ones to go network, and find different people that are like-minded. Or, for those of you that I work with, I've worked with in the past that are a little bit more established, you already have employees, you have different decoration methods. You can also have your own workshop. I've actually done workshops in the past myself, where you involve people, you invite people in your community, you turn it into like a social gathering, social networking, have a workshop you can have something as simple as in your community, have a workshop that pertains to business ideas. How can you scale your business? And, you as the embroidery person, not only can you, talk about, those different things, but you can also, it gives you a way to, another way to, get more business. Number 8, implement efficient production methods. Super important, being efficient, because, that ties to your bottom line. If you're not super efficient, if the machine that you have takes forever, out of 10 pieces, you're messing up 3 or 4, the quality is not the best. Efficiency is definitely going to be crucial for your business. So you want to make sure that anything that you do, when I talk to my customers, I like to use the Starbucks analogy, because whenever I go to Starbucks, it doesn't matter how small it is or how large it is. They have a pretty streamlined process on how they do stuff. So if I place an order for coffee, they're not trying to figure out, oh man, where did I leave the milk? Where did I leave the coffee from the last order? It's like, no, they have their set process on how they do things. And you want to think of your business like a franchise. You want to treat it like a Starbucks. Anything that you do, just think about it that way. Treat yourself like your first employee. And then that way, that's going to help you, become efficient, and most importantly, streamlining your process. Number 9, explore niche markets. So, with embroidery, you have a lot more flexibility. How do you want to brand yourself? Are you going to be the hat guy? Are you going to be the, the jacket guy? It gives you an opportunity to pick and choose what niche. It's kind of like the saying that they say that the riches are in the niches. And one of the mistakes I did, when I was in the business is, I tried to cast a wide net versus, instead of going, 48 feet wide, go 48 feet deep, Focus on what's going to be your niche for embroidery. Are you going to be focusing on schools? Are you going to be focusing on clubs, businesses? And it's really easy, especially when you're doing embroidery. You know, you have your business card anywhere you go. I would make it a habit of, you know, if you're going to go eat somewhere, be like, oh, can I talk to the manager? Hey, you know, here's my business card. You know, I do embroidery. Just out of curiosity, you know, how much did you pay? Are you open-minded to getting a different, you know, trying something different? And one thing that I would even recommend for larger businesses, some that you've been kind of prospecting, I would even recommend doing a physical sample for them and dropping it off. That's a good way to kind of set yourself aside from the competition. Be like, hey, you know, this is you can take their logo, maybe add a little flair to it, make it a little bit more creative, and drop it off. Number 10, encourage referral and loyalty programs. Super important. You know, this is another thing that I made a mistake when I was, you know, running my shop, that I really didn't put too much emphasis on loyalty programs. So you definitely want to, you know, 10% coupons on your next order, build that email marketing list. So like I said, you know, there's the 10 items that I went over right now. They're not in any particular order, but they are designed to help you, you know, scale and grow your embroidery business. And if you guys have any questions, you know, definitely hit me up, Edgar at omniprintonline.com. So definitely stay tuned, and thank you for joining.